What's going on, everybody out there in Badger Nation? It is Michael Erickson Fasheen here, and I'm excited to talk about some sponsored brand ads updates today on the show. Steven, it is day, who knows what day it is, of quarantine. How is that quarantine beard growing?
It's coming in. I still don't have the beard that you have, but my beard growth oil is on its way. It's taking like 30 days because of Amazon shipping delays.
Did you tell them it was an essential item?
I told them it was very essential to me. But hey, if this works, guys, I will name the product that I used and personally endorse this thing. So there's a lot.
You got to reach out for sponsorship.
And if it doesn't work, I'll still name the brand and be like, this is fake. It's a gimmick. Don't do it.
You know, when you reach out to them, you should be like, do you know who I am?
That's what I should do, actually.
Let them know you're on the show, let them know. But Steven, we received a comment from our YouTube channel. Somebody, when you first mentioned that you were going to grow your coronavirus beard, you said that you will not shave it until the last case is stricken from America, and that you ordered beard growth oil. Somebody on our YouTube channel said there's no such thing. There's nothing you can do to grow your beard faster.
Oh, really?
By putting oil on it. That's what he said.
Interesting. Well, I didn't see that comment, but also, just in my defense, I didn't buy this thing. Okay.
Okay.
Someone offered to reimburse me for it. But we're going to be talking about the latest update to sponsored brands today, which we are very excited about. We've been waiting for this update for
long time coming.
Very long time, pretty much as long as sponsored brands have been in existence. But before we dive into that, Mike, we've been getting some positive feedback from customers on our Facebook, on our YouTube, on our Instagram. Why don't you give us one of the latest kind of reviews that we've gotten from one of our customers?
Yeah, big shout out to everybody out there in Badger Nation. And many of you are customers of Ad Badger. So really quick, we got a awesome review from George. George, thanks so much for writing in. He says, cannot speak highly enough of both Ad Badger team and software. Our ACOSs have gone from 80 to 150% to around 15 to 20%. George, that is awesome. It is awesome to have you write in. The team, which Steven, I think he's talking about you and I, are swift to respond, check, professional, yet most of the time, and friendly, and as supportive as you can expect from a software of this caliber. George, just wanted to say thank you so much for writing in those kind words. Super appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a customer. And without further ado, let's get into some of these sponsored brand ads updates. So the email that came in from Amazon the week of, I believe, April 20th is when we got this, just like yesterday, was bump ba da ba ba ba. I do my own sound effects. Is that you can now edit the creative of sponsored brand ads. And I'm going to read a little bit about their email that they sent. And of course, you can actually view this email if for some reason you didn't get it. You can just go to adbadger.com/podcast and see the podcast blog post. So basically, creative editing is now available in your sponsored brand ads. With this new feature, you can edit the following elements within the creative without having to create a new campaign: products, headlines, and logos.
Which just sounds like such a major flaw with the product that
Yes.
wasn't an option before. Like, you can now edit it without having to create a brand new campaign from scratch. It's like, wow, thank you for that. Anyways.
Yes. And I know that we have people from Amazon that listen to the show, and I definitely don't, anytime we critique a feature, I know that, the Amazon team must be under so much pressure to bang out new features, and it's such a gigantic ecosystem, right? So many billions of dollars flow through their system that it's very important to be very meticulous with how they roll out features. But if you do want any feedback on your next feature, let me know. You know how to get in touch with me. Would love to be a part of that. Basically, so the email continues.
Wait, Mike. I just found this real quick. Sorry.
Give it to me.
We released an episode number 21 of the PPC Den podcast was titled Our Gripes About Amazon Sponsored Products Ads. That was published on April 17th, 2019. This email came in on April 16th, 2020.
Whoa.
1 year later, they heard our gripes And they
It's a sign.
They have rectified it.
Yes. Proof, definitive proof that the Amazon PPC team is actually listening to this episode.
Jeff Bezos is listening to our podcast.
Jeffy B is what I call him. What would you do if you found out one day that like you just saw a picture of me, like we're hanging out, we're like playing horseshoes, Jeff and I?
We'll have to make that an Instagram post. Just get Emma to, mock up a cool Photoshop.
We got Photoshoppers on the team. Yes. The email continues. Stephen, I think people tune in for the banter.
Sure.
the banter. You'll also have the option to continue delivering the existing campaign until the edited version is approved in the moderation review process. Once approved, the new version will automatically start delivering. If you're making edits to a paused campaign, the edited version will remain paused until it's approved. Please note, once you submitted an edited version for moderation review, you won't be able to cancel the request. You can pause the campaign to prevent the edited version from delivering if it is approved. Interesting notes there. Steps to creative edits in your sponsored brand ads are: click the campaign, go to the creative tab, click the edit button, and then you can make edits to your products, headline, or logo. Submit it for review. It takes 72 hours. Booyah. So that's the email that we got. So Stephen, let's break this email down, our interpretations on it, and then sort of talk about how to get some value out of the feature and some wish list items. So really simple. It starts by saying you can edit the products, headlines, and logos. That's pretty straightforward. Stephen, just really quick, just for the people at home listening, do they mean, when they talk about editing products, headlines, and logos, those are essentially the components of a sponsored brand ad. Like those are the things that get displayed, and you combine that with your keywords and.
Yeah, I mean, those are three of the three elements that go into the creative. Yes.
It then talks about how it works if it's paused or approved. So essentially, there is that up to 72-hour approval process, just to be sure that it's not, something that goes against Amazon's standards, like putting swear words in there or something irrelevant or doesn't make sense or not up to family standards and all those good things. So the email itself, pretty straightforward. I don't think I'm missing anything when I look at this.
No, it's just a long overdue, update that we've been waiting for. I mean, they used to have it that you could not even rename sponsored brand campaigns. So if you wanted to update your naming systems, which a lot of times we've done, we take on a new account, and one of the first things we do is an account restructure, and we get a consistent naming system. And you can do it with all the sponsored product campaigns, but you can't do that for sponsored brands. You can't rename them. But they fixed that. So newer sponsored brand campaigns, you can rename. You still can't do it with sponsored brand videos. You cannot rename those campaigns. You can only do it for traditional sponsored brand headline ads. I mean, just being able to edit these creatives is so massively important. In the early days of this, I mean, one of the reasons why I got so upset with not being able to edit the creative is, in the early days of sponsored brands, I was creating some new of these ad types for some clients. And, I would do a typo in one, I did a space before a period or something like that. And the campaign's already been running for a couple weeks and it already has a great return, but I can't go in and fix it. So I need to create a new campaign and restart the whole process of gaining that sales momentum, gaining that data that we're using for bid optimization. And sometimes the newer campaign doesn't perform as well because it just doesn't have the performance history as the previous one. And all I'm trying to do is fix a typo. And so now you can do that. So that's seems like a common sense thing, but it's nice to be able to actually have that functionality.
Yeah, exactly. So time saving. So if you ever want to make edits, you don't need to create a new one and restart that momentum. Just like you said, we talk a lot about it on the show, how there is this sort of hidden ad quality score that Amazon doesn't list. And I do believe, and people that I talk with also anecdotally verify this, that one of the components, one of the factors, one of the variables that contribute to overall quality of an ad is how long it's been running and how many clicks it generally gets. So just generally I see very large campaigns, like super large, like that's been $300,000 a month or so, $500,000 a month or so. And their structure isn't perfect. Their bid optimization isn't what it is in some of the smaller accounts that I see. And they just seem to be given a pass on certain things. Like just things just generally move easier for very large campaigns that are historically running for a long time. So there is a benefit generally to leave a campaign on and try to salvage it. If it's not performing well, try to salvage it instead of just pausing it and starting again. So with that said, having edit capabilities in sponsored brand ads, definitely a big deal. Now, for me, when I heard this, like I really, really wanted, oh, this is great. Hopefully now we can do A/B testing. So you can write different headlines and actually do different products to see what gets better click-through rates and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, now my biggest issue is that you cannot run a true A/B test where, you want to simultaneously test copy, images, the products, even maybe the landing pages, like all these different things. A true A/B test is literally where you're rotating every single impression. Because what that does, that helps account for, you can't just have one campaign, sponsored brand ad, run it, and then go in there and edit for a week and then edit it and then do the next week and see the data. That's better than not being able to edit it at all, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, there are normal week-to-week fluctuations that every account has. And you can never truly be sure if this is just a normal week-to-week fluctuation or if it was truly statistical significance. So this adds an extra step. You'll need to use a statistical significance testing tool to determine if it was just a normal week-to-week fluctuation or if it was statistically significant. And a little extra work. Those tools are really easy to find. Just Google like A/B testing statistical significant tool, and you just punch in how many impressions to clicks, and it'll say like, yes, it's significant, or no, it's not. So with all that said, like that is what I would love to have. Like they're getting close. It's like you can edit the creatives. Can we please test them?
Yeah, right now for A/B testing, Amazon's only recommendation is that you run 2 different campaigns simultaneously and compare the performance between the 2. The only problem with that is that if they're bidding on the same keywords at the same bid, which you need to do if you want to be, you need to kind of limit your number
Control
of variables. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazon's usually going to prefer one over the other, either the one that has, a longer history or a just more total historical sales. So, it's not really perfect to have A/B testing. They do have A/B testing for A+ content. That is something that they've allowed. So hopefully we see more A/B testing coming into sponsored products and sponsored brands in the future. But yeah, right now you can't really get an even 50-50 split between 2 different creatives.
So really hoping to get that A/B testing feature. And there's this other cool thing for adding new product variations, which when you saw this, you were talking about it to me, Stephen.
Yeah, so it's important to be able to change your, update your headlines. Also, being able to update your logos is huge too. I mean, we had a client who, during their time span with us, they changed their logo. So if you want to use your new logo for your sponsored brand ads, that's really unfortunate if you have to create a whole bunch of new sponsored brand ads, even though they've been running successfully for 2 years, to have to start over. So it's really nice being able to update that. The other thing that we had one customer, he had 2 product variations, 2 different colors, and we created a sponsored brand ad for him. We were doing the single keyword sponsored brand ads that we talked about a long time ago. And it was, phenomenally successful, extremely low A cost, was pretty much always winning top of search, really low CPCs. Like he won the top spot and Amazon loved him and let him keep it. Well, he got a 3rd color, and you're allowed to show 3 products in a sponsored brand ad. So we couldn't edit the old creative. We needed to create a new headline. We literally just duplicated it. We copied it, duplicated it, exact same headline, exact same keywords, and we just added a 3rd product, just a 3rd variation that you would think is going to make Amazon happier because it's another product with great reviews, more options for people to pick from. 2 things happened. One, that headline barely won any impressions, barely won any placements over the other one. And two, the CPCs were so much higher on this other one because it didn't have the, Amazon rewards good performance with lower CPCs. So you don't always pay your full bid. And this other one was getting like 50% higher CPCs, even though it was the exact same thing. It just didn't have the history of performance. So it was being penalized, and we could not get it to overtake the original campaign. And we didn't want to risk losing all those sales that the other campaign was getting. So we didn't want to necessarily like lower those bids or pause that other campaign that could just let another competition, that could let a competitor just jump in and take that spot and secure it. And then we would, it would be really expensive for us to take it back. So we had to just keep running the ad that didn't show all the colors. So yeah, being able to update those ads to update your logos, change your products, especially if you've got a campaign that's running really, really well and you just launched a new product and you just kind of want to help gain it some traction. It's going to be hard for a new product to win top of search spots. But if you've already got a sponsored brand headline that's winning top of search spots a lot of the time, you can, switch that new product into the headline ad and, start winning some almost by like, I guess it's almost like piggybacking on those that top performing campaign with other products that are top performing. You can, you can throw in a new product in there and help, throw some traffic to that new product. So yeah, those are kind of the best ways to use this editing strategy. So,
for sure. So, I mean, should you be using sponsored brand ads? Yes, absolutely. We've talked a lot about that on this show. So yes, you should be using it. Yes, you should be pretty pumped up about the new edit capabilities because that's pretty neat. That should be a good time saver and helps you do all the things that you just mentioned, fixing a typo or adding a new product to the mix and all these different things. So definitely, yes, you should be using it. So again, it's awesome to be in the Amazon advertising space to sort of be a part of these new features and watch them grow and change and evolve. And part of what we need to do as Amazon marketers and business owners to really stay on top of these. So we are happy to report this to you. Let us know what kind of value you've gotten out of this. You can always, of course, catch us on adbadger.com/podcast. And we're pretty easy to get a hold of. LinkedIn, and we have chat on our site, and you can just look for Steven and his growing beard, all oily with the beard oil growth on it, beard growth oil on it.
Yeah. By the way, Mike, just so you know, you've got that Facebook Live coming up in 5 minutes, so we should probably wrap this up, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the Facebook Live.
Yes, which by the time that you're listening to it has already been published. So if you are one to time travel, you can go back in time and listen to this when it was happening. And what? That's it for us today, everybody. Have a good one, and I'll see you inside the Badger Den.